all love.
Hey everybody, it's Monica with Your Best Female Figure, and today's workout is inspired by all the pictures that you're looking at on the screen. If you want more information about them, head over to the blog to check out the article that includes more tips on this workout. So let's get started with the first exercise, which is a lateral glute activation. So you're going to lay on the ball sideways, and you're going to extend that top leg up and a little bit back. So you really want to get that butt contraction, so that glute muscle has to work really hard, and of course your arms and core are getting some work in there because they are supporting your weight on a very unstable surface. Now if you feel more comfortable, you can also place your forearm on the floor, like I'm going to do in a second, or you can just stay up on the hands. I find that staying up on the hands with the arms bent is a little bit nicer, and also helps with yoga arm balances that I like to do on days when I'm not doing best female figure workouts. All right, now the next exercise is a Pilates swan dive on the ball. You can also do this on the floor, but on the ball is actually a little bit more challenging because your deep abdominals have to work harder to keep you from falling off the ball. Obviously, you have to have some level of trust in your upper body strength to dive down and know that you're not going to hit your face on the ground if you're doing this exercise correctly. You need to engage your entire back and also your glutes, inner thighs, and your hamstrings will also work just a little bit. So a lot of muscles get worked in this exercise, and after you do it, it's important that you do a stretch like the one you saw me doing at the end. I'm about to do it again in a few seconds to counteract the extension that you're putting on your spine. Now if this bothers you, then you may want to do the floor version and start out really slowly. I have an entire article about this workout up, and I'm going to have other videos on there that show you how to do the floor version of this exercise. Now the next exercise is really fun. It's a combination between a deadlift and a Russian lateral lunge. So you're going to place the ball under your chest, and you're just gonna rest your hands on the ball lightly, and you're gonna stay in that bent over position throughout the exercise, except when you are sitting deep into that lateral lunge. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to take your glutes all the way to the floor behind that heel, and you got to keep both heels glued to the floor. The toes can come up, and this exercise is all about using your pelvic floor, your inner thighs, and your deep abdominals as a unit. So you're integrating all that into this movement, which is amazing for cinching the waist and also targeting your glutes. Now if you're doing this correctly, you're not going to feel any pain in the low back or knees. If you are feeling that, that means you really need to work on increasing your core strength with more basic moves, or you just need to focus more on improving the technique of this movement. So take your time with it and don't rush it. All right, so the next exercise is really challenging. It's a reverse plank with feet supported on the ball, but that ball goes all over the place. So you have to use your deep abdominals, your pelvic floor, inner thighs, and everything on your backside, including your glutes and your back, to do this exercise. So it is a full body exercise, and as you can see, when you're raising up into that table, that waist is cinching in really nicely. So if you're training this integrated movement, you're gonna have that tighter waist just all the time. If you can't do this exercise on the ball because it's too challenging, you can also do it with your feet on the floor, as you're gonna see in a few seconds. And you can also do it with feet elevated on a small bench or on the suspension trainer straps. Now when I started doing this exercise months ago, I could not even do this floor version that you're watching here, even though I was really good at doing the tabletops that you've seen in other videos. So it takes a little bit of time and patience to get stronger at that exercise. So just be patient with yourself. Now this next exercise is a very complex movement pattern, and you can always break it down into more manageable segments and then group them all together into one movement if it is too challenging, or you just don't have that kind of core stability or abdominal strength. So you're going to start in a seated position, and you're going to reach that ball forward over the toes, and then you're going to roll all the way down to laying. You're going to elevate the legs by using the deep abdominals, go into that reverse crunch, so elevating the hips off the ground, and then you're going to use all your back muscles to rotate from side to side, bending the legs so that you can use your glutes and inner thighs as well. And then you're going to lower the legs, and then you're going to come roll up back into the starting position. So a lot of muscle groups are involved, and you need to take your time with this. You can't rush through this exercise, otherwise you're really not going to get the benefit of deep abdominal contraction and all the muscle interaction that needs to happen. So pelvic floor, inner thighs, deep abdominals, even your rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscles are going to get some work here, and obviously the entire backside is going to be working, including your shoulders and your arms. So this is a full body exercise. Now there are two ways that you can come up to sitting. You can either bring the legs all the way to the floor and then come up to sitting, or you can use the legs to help you up, which is kind of like the teaser from Pilates. So if you don't have very good strength in your upper abdominals, then you can always use the legs, to help yourself up. And always, obviously you can also lose the ball. If the ball is, aggravating you and you can't, seem to work with it, then you can just, put it aside and try the exercise without the ball to see how that works for you. Just remember to take your time and to really focus on integrating all those muscle groups so that you can do the exercise with, good technique and get that waist cinching that you're after. Last exercise is a really great way to train your entire pelvis to relax as you're coming down into a squat, and then to tighten up with the inner thighs and deep abdominals as you're coming up into that standing position all the way up to the balls of the feet. It's really fun. If you're doing it correctly, you're going to land on the ball every time. And of course, at the end, if you want to integrate some of this movement into a sexy dance, you can totally do that, but it's not required. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it has been helpful. I will be back with another video very soon to help you get your best female figure. Thank you so much for watching.
You want love? Got a gate. Can't let me know.
Why you wanna play me like a fool? Si no sabes that I'm better. No, all my friends think I'm your fool. Now treat you right, let you